Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're dealing with. Joining us tonight in studio is Mayor Paul Lefebvre from Greater Sudbury. Mayor Lefebvre, welcome.
Thank you for having me again.
I want to start, lots of big changes happening at City Hall. It seems very transformative, I guess, is maybe putting it even nicely, because I know it's more complex than that. Talk to me about your position, because we haven't had a chance to talk to you about this yet. From where you stand, this a good thing?
Well, for sure, we're bringing the city forward, and there's some changes that need to be made. And again, that's the role of the CAO, right? The CAO has a responsibility of putting her team together and moving the organization forward. That's why changes were made at her level. We're very supportive. I'm very supportive of the changes that she has made. It's never easy, but that it's important for the organization sometimes to make those changes to bring it forward.
I want to talk to you about the position of the Auditor General.
Sure.
I remember once upon a time, I was at the media table when the media table on the council floor was a thing. And it was Mayor Rodriguez at the time when that Auditor General position was created, and we heard transparency, transparency, transparency. How do you equate the loss of this position to the taxpayers and go, you know what, we will still be transparent, because that building 10, 20, 30 years historically sometimes doesn't have the greatest reputation for transparency.
That's why we made the changes to some of the staff as well. But I would say that that position in Ontario, and looking at other municipalities, there's 440 municipalities, only 5 have an Auditor General's office, and we were one of those 5. So certainly council decided, you know what, maybe we don't need that full extent of that external auditor, that internal auditor doing that type of work. We are now looking at what other municipalities are doing it, and how are they doing their internal audits without acquiring a full-time auditor's position. So we are actually waiting for staff to come back with some recommendations, looking at other municipalities in the province of Ontario. As I said, out of 440 municipalities of Ontario, only 5 had an Auditor General. We were one of them. We just didn't think that was the right investments to be made. However, transparency is always key, and that is important that we certainly have the public continued support with that, and that's why, again, we're going to be coming back with recommendations from staff to us, and then we'll have options. The council will decide to ensure that we continue to be transparent and making the ability to have those internal audits.
You spoke about this being the job of the CAO. Just tell me a little bit with the timeline. When were councillors notified?
No, certainly councillors were actually, it's the CAO's decision to make the changes. With respect to the Auditor General, that was a decision that we had made and closed at budget time. So we had a meeting in closed during budget time. We had to make that decision, but because it obviously involves personnel, those decisions are made in closed, and after that they are obviously communicated to that personnel after that time.
I'm down to about less than a minute or so,
Sure.
but I want to quickly ask you, we're heading into an election soon later this year. We have the new downtown event center coming.
Yes.
We've got a new look for City Hall, physically and the people inside. Was transformation always the key goal here for you?
Well, certainly was bringing our city forward, right? We have not seen any improvements to our infrastructure when it comes to our facilities and our amenities in our city for almost a generation. So for me, it was important that we certainly create an excitement and upgrades that were required that were key. One of the arena that we currently have is over 75 years old. By the time the new one is built, it'll be 78 years old, and it's really struggling. So that, for me, that was an important piece of infrastructure, and we need to keep modernizing our city. There's a lot of failing infrastructure pieces that we have. Certainly, we're going to keep putting money into our roads. There's lots of needs there, and as well as our facilities and amenities, but certainly these were key pieces to showcase to our community that things can get done. Often we've moved things forward and a lot of decisions to walk it back. We can invest in ourselves, we can believe in ourselves, and make that modern city that we are.
Finally, here I told you this off camera. Here I thought I knew a lot about you, and this came out of left field. You were performing in a concert. Tell the people what's going on.
Well, I'll be joining the Sudbury Symphony Orchestra on Saturday night to certainly celebrate the arts in Sudbury. But I'm just not celebrating with them. Actually, I'll be playing with them. I'll be actually playing 4 pieces on piano and 2 pieces on saxophone. I have a musical background from way back in the day, and certainly dusting off the old talent, I guess, and then bringing back. And certainly, I'm just excited to be able to showcase, to share that with the community. And the symphony has been amazing to work with.
And you said that's Saturday.
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Make sure you check it out. Everyone, Mayor Paul Lefebvre from the city of Greater Sudbury.